I get messages like these kind of all the time. And at this point, I don't really know how to respond. Maybe in the comment section below, you guys can tell me how to handle this situation. Because really, I have like I have a lot of mixed emotions about this kind of situation right here. So it says, "Hello, my name is blank.
And I'm a beginner in leather crafting. I've seen numerous videos of your work on YouTube, and it's some of the coolest and nicest work I've ever seen. I've recently started an Etsy shop and started selling my products for a 4-year-long project in agriculture class. I'm hoping this message goes to Brian. I'm currently trying to start up a YouTube channel and learn how to tool leather. I would like to see if there's any way you could possibly help me out on how I should make videos and how I should film them. I would also like to see if there's any way I can learn from you on how to tool leather. This is the biggest struggle I've had since starting leather crafting. Currently, I mainly sell wallets, checkbook covers, and recently taught myself how to make Bible covers and sew patches onto Hey Dudes. I'm constantly asked to do custom tooling on my products and have to say no. This would mean so much to me if you could help me learn about the craft. Is there any way we could possibly work together? Please let me know. If you want to see any products I've made, let me know and I can send you pictures.
I hope this message finds you well. Best regards, blank." I read this message a couple times, and as I'm reading it out loud, it's probably the first time I'm realizing that this is probably a high school kid. Not everybody who sends me this type of message is in high school. So I'm gonna talk as if this person isn't in high school. I want to maybe like break this message down and piece each part together, because there's a lot of stuff going on. This is honestly the longest message I've ever received like this, like the most in-depth. Normally, it's this exact, sentiment, just a lot shorter. Beginning leather crafter, awesome. It's a fun hobby. I wouldn't recommend it as a career to anybody at all whatsoever. Most leather crafters you see on the internet aren't professionals. Most people you see on the internet are actually just like hobbyists who have like a side hustle, who they structure very well, who you can't tell isn't an actual business. And because a lot of these companies don't have, an obligation to actually like pay their bills with their work, they tend to have a lot more free time working on the social media side of things. So they can seem a lot more professional than an actual professional, because if anybody has tried to do leather work or even any kind of craft knows that this stuff kind of takes a long time. Anyways, I do appreciate all the kind words. I do. It's an honor to, I guess, have people look up to me and want to emulate me. But like the sentiment of this message is basically like, "Hey, I saw you on the internet, and I want to know exactly what you do so I could be exactly like you." And I don't think that's good. We're going to keep going through this. Okay, so then here's this person says, "I'm currently trying to start up a YouTube channel and learn how to tool leather." It's one of those deals. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, why are you going to get on the internet and just tell people you don't know what you're doing? Or like lie to them and act as if you know what you're doing? It doesn't make any sense. Unless you do go on the internet and go like, "Hey, I'm a leather crafter and I don't know what I'm doing at all, but I'm going to follow you along the journey and we're going to learn together." That I think makes sense. That I think probably would work kind of good, to be honest. But a big kind of pitfall that I've seen a lot of people have is some of these beginners, they get a little bit of confidence and then they just start teaching. Get a little bit of confidence and just jump in and go, "Hey, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this because I'm an expert, because I know what I'm doing." And it's like, if you learn a skill, a little bit of a skill doesn't make you an expert at the thing. You kind of got to like know what you're doing the whole way around. So right off the rip, I think this is kind of a bad idea. So this person also kind of says, "You possibly help me on how to make videos and how I should film them." So this is why I think it's a bad idea, because this person doesn't have any video making experience in general. Like, I don't think doing the two, like if he's asking me how to film and everything, it's like, dude, use your phone, get a GoPro. I mean, even like a shitty handy cam would work. Like if you don't know how to make the videos or how to do leather crafting, like I don't really know. To me it sounds like you're just biting off of more than you can chew. But like I said, at the same time, it might be kind of cool to like watch that whole journey, but tell people that this is the journey. The journey is me learning how to do this. The journey is me not knowing what to do, but I'm going to show you how I do it, and I'm going to show you me getting better over time. I think that's good. But trying to learn both skills kind of at the same time doesn't make a lot of sense, because A, leather crafting takes a long time. B, video editing takes a long time. And like C, it's not super profitable. As much enthusiasm as I read in this message, if you were interested in like a hobby or doing something, you would just be doing it. You would just go and do it, and you would try your best, and you would be learning, and you would be working on improving your skills. So that's why I don't know. I'm gonna keep reading this, and then maybe I can give more thoughts. So, and then it's like, if there's any way I could learn from you on how to tool leather, this is the biggest struggle since I started leather crafting. And it's like, yeah, it's the hard part. Leather crafting, this is what I tell everybody. Leather crafting is one of the easiest hobbies to get into, but it's hard. It's one of the hardest hobbies to get competent in, because it's like a massive plateau. Like, barrier to entry is really low, and you can kind of do a lot of stuff with patterns from like Tandy, Maker's Leather Supply patterns, Don Gonzalez tooling patterns, all this kind of stuff that's beginner level, that takes no skill. Like, with all due respect, it takes no skill to replicate a Don Gonzalez tooling pattern, or it takes no skill to use a Tandy project kit. And that's what these kits are for. It's for people who are beginners, who don't know anything about anything, that requires zero skill. So there's this massive sea of people at the low beginner level, but once you start trying to get into actual skill, it's very difficult. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, it's not profitable at all. Like, you gotta really want to be involved in this industry. For me, it was growing up in my brother's saddle shop, and even then, once I started my own business, there was a couple times I actually like kind of quit and pursued tattooing. There was one time I quit for like a full 4 months and was tattooing. I continued for a while, and then there was another point where I was like tattooing again a couple years later, part-time. And then I kind of like realized, I'm like, you know what? I've dedicated too much of my life to this. My brother's dead. Our family doesn't really have a legacy, and I have a little bit of skill at this. And you know what? I'm going to commit my life fully to it. I don't know. You just really got to want to do this. Like, this has to be like a dream to be successful in it, at least, because leather crafting, I mean, to be completely real, is a terrible, terrible industry to get into. It's very time consuming. There's very few crafters out there who actually make a decent living at it. Like, there is a long, long grind. It's no different than having another business. So like being self-employed or having a business is hard. And then there's the whole aspect of having skills. Like, every single tool in the leather crafting shop is a skill of its own, on top of all the other skills you have to have for business. And then it's a very hands-on thing to do that takes a very long time. So you got to just like want it. And that's the thing I get turned off the most about these messages that are like, hey, I saw you on the internet, and I think you're probably super successful, and you're probably like killing it in life, which, don't get me wrong, I think I am killing it in life, but it's taken me like 6 years to kill it in life. So like, hey, I love everything you do, and give me the blueprint to be exactly like you. I'm like, I just don't understand the thought process, like, as well. Like, I've never been a person that's been like this. Like, maybe, you ask a person like, hey, what knives do you use? Or like, what paint do you use? Or something like that to learn a skill and then take that and go. I've never understood the concept of like, hey, you're a complete stranger who doesn't know me at all, and I want you to stop everything that you're doing and teach me how to be successful in the thing that you do. I just don't get it. Like, because I'm so dumb, I have to like connect things and make metaphors and like similes to things. It's like, imagine you're just like a person who like walks into a 5-star restaurant, walks straight into the back, and then asks the chef like, hey, Mr. Chef, who's been doing this for a decade, I don't know how to do anything. So can you teach me how to cook, 5-star meals and run a business? It's like, it's just a strange thought process that I never really understood. But I'm going to continue going. This guy says, I currently sell wallets, checkbook covers, and recently taught myself how to make Bible covers and sew patches onto Hey Dudes. That's perfect. Keep teaching yourself how to make shit. If you got to use, a Don Gonzalez pattern or a Maker's Leather Supply pattern to maybe understand how to make things, awesome. The more things you can teach yourself how to make, the better, because you have to remember everybody out there basically just doing the same exact Don Gonzalez patterns and the same exact maker supply patterns. You know, if you can figure out how to set yourself aside in any way and make a unique product that, 70% of everybody else isn't making, you're in money. So you're progressing fine. Like, if you're making, I don't know how long you've been doing it as well, which makes this kind of hard to gauge, but keep teaching yourself how to do shit. If you're watching my videos, I know I don't sit there and explicitly teach you how to do certain things, but like, you gotta watch. I intentionally don't go out of my way to do step by step how to make something, because it doesn't help you. Following a set of instructions doesn't help you learn how to do something. It helps you just get good at following instructions. And I don't know if I get a lot of criticism, but I know people aren't really a big fan of the way that I teach it that way. But at the end of the day, I'm not a person who's like here to cater to the hobbyist person. Like, I make these videos basically as if I myself in my younger form was, the audience. Like, I teach what should be taught, not what I think, is going to get clicks and likes and stuff like that. So, teaching people fundamentals and kind of like more philosophical, more abstract ideas is ultimately the thing that's going to like make you successful at this. At least if you want to take the route that I took and be more artistic with it and not be like another run of the mill generic Western person. There's a lot of instructors on the internet that'll teach you how to be a generic Western guy. Like, with all due respect, I love Don Gonzalez, but like, he'll teach you how to do stuff, but he's going to teach you how to do stuff to a certain point, and you're going to think that you know how to do all these things, but little do you know there's a fucking 1,000 people who are all learning from Don Gonzalez how to be generic Western guys. The customer base is only so big, and the supply of crafters in that space is like only getting bigger. So anyways, he also says, I'm constantly asked to do if I could do custom tooling on my projects, and I have to say no. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not going to call anybody out, but there's some people out there who are absolute killer toolers who can do crazy floral, but then you ask them to do something custom and they just struggle with it. And like, most people who order like leather stuff is all kind of custom. Like there's not many people who order from companies who special order from companies stuff that is not custom. If they wanted just some generic shit that works and just kind of looks good, there's an infinite selection of shit on the internet that people can select from. So this dude's running clearly right into the problem who can't do the custom tooling. It's okay. Like, you're not supposed to know everything in the beginning. This is the part of learning. Like, I always get annoyed too, because it's like people tell me or ask me how to teach them. And it's like, brother, I have hundreds of hours of shit on YouTube you can watch and learn from. If you're wanting a step-by-step playbook, how to do something, and you don't have to work for it or you don't have to learn for it, you just want to follow A, B, C, D, E, F, G fucking instructions, then you're just straight up self-entitled and there's no way around it. Like, there's nobody in this world owes you shit to, better your education. Like, there's just nowhere in the world that is obligated to teach you. It's the reason why you have to pay for trade school. You have to pay for college. I mean, maybe even you take an apprenticeship that, you don't get paid. Like, nobody is obligated to teach you anything. And most of the people who want to pass their knowledge on, they're going to pass it on in the way that they want to pass it on. They're going to choose to teach it to their nephew. They're going to choose to teach it to the kid down the street. They're going to choose to teach it in a YouTube video. They're going to teach it the way that they want to teach it. And nobody is obligated to teach you the way you need to be taught, unless you're paying them money, unless you're working for them for free, unless you have some kind of skin in the game. But you being a random person on the internet who, like, the crafter or the person with the knowledge, has no clue who they are. Like, I have no clue who this person is. Completely random number who found me off of, I'm assuming, probably found my YouTube, figured out how to go through my social media, found my contact us page on on my website, which I got to give this guy some credit to at least have gone that far, because I deal with customers who can't fucking figure that out. So shout out to this kid, which tells me you're already handy enough. Like, it's one of these things where, like, sometimes these messages are super fucking annoying, where they're stripped down and it's like, hey, can you teach me how to tool? And I'm like, okay, this person's clearly a fucking moron. And then you get people like this, who this guy wrote legit 3 paragraphs with proper punctuation, concise thought, and all that stuff. So this kid, and I'm telling this kid, I'm posting this video. So if you're this kid watching, you seem handy enough, you seem smart enough. You just have to learn and understand that nobody owes you this shit. And anybody who's successful in this world at all had to, like, learn their shit. There's very few people in this world who get handed success and handed wealth, and most of those people don't know how to keep it alive. Like, how many times do you hear the child of a rich person ends up fucking squandering all their money, or becoming a burnout or whatever, because they have no concept of how any of this success stuff works, because it was just handed to them. Anyways, says this would mean so much if you could help me learn more about the craft. Keep watching the fucking YouTube videos, dude. Keep watching me. Keep watching Tom Gonzalez. Keep watching. Like, I would recommend, like, any of the Tandy books are fucking good. The Al Stolman books, and just keep watching YouTube videos. Like, there's the problem is no matter what you learn, you can learn all the knowledge. You can watch a million videos, but until you sit there and start making your cuts, and you start drawing your lines, and you start fucking smacking your hammer, you're not going to know how to do any of it. It's a hand-eye coordination thing. It's a knowledge thing. It's a finesse thing. It isn't, there's, no matter how many fucking videos you watch, you will not improve your skill until you put the groundwork in to actually improve the skill itself. Keep watching fucking the YouTube and other people's YouTube. And if you really want it that bad, just fucking be a sponge. If you watch a shitload of videos and stuff and learn, you will be better equipped than the person who doesn't. But until you start actually putting it into practice, you won't improve it. So keep watching the videos, keep learning. If there's any way we could possibly work together, please let me know. Here's a free fucking video and the most in-depth response to any one of these messages you've ever gotten from me. If you want me to send pictures, you can, and all that stuff. Don't want you to send me pictures. Like, you're going to try to do something and you're going to suck, but you try it a second time and maybe you're a little bit better, right? Maybe you're terrible. You're fucking 1 out of 100, but then you do the second project and then you're a 1.5 out of 100. What you need to do, and the whole fucking secret to success, is get addicted to that 0.5% of improvement that you made, and just do that a fucking million times. And next thing you know, you'll be there. Like, you'll get to where you need to be. Nobody's good at leather crafting right away. Like, I really don't know how to feel about this. Like I love the chef. I love the chef thing, because I think people know that, like, cooking might be easy. Like, the barrier to entry to cook something is very easy, but to be like a fucking 5-star chef, there's so many complexities and different ingredients that come from different parts of the world that need to be cooked for a certain amount of time at a certain temperature. And there's so many things like that. Imagine the guy walking into, a kitchen and asking the chef, hey, teach me everything you know. Like, the chef's gonna go, get the fuck out of my kitchen, dude. What are you doing in my kitchen? And that's, like, how I feel. But like I said, on the other hand, it is, I guess, an honor, and it is nice to think that people do look up to me. Because, even this far into it, almost a decade into the leather crafting game, to finally be getting recognition is nice. It's validating. It's cool. It's nice. It does feel good. So it feels good to be looked up to, but it doesn't feel good to be obligated to this person. But then the third aspect of it is, like, I know what it takes, and you're asking all the wrong questions, and you're coming at it the wrong way. All right, dude. So I don't know how old you are, so I'm not going to say your name, but basically you're going to suck for a long time. This is the amount of time you're going to suck for. Bad news, right? Bad news, you're going to suck for this long. Good news is that you could be You could be in this industry from here to fucking a football field away, and you only suck for the first 1% of your time in this industry. That's cool. Good news is that if you suck for this long, the more you learn, the more you can practice, and the more you take it seriously, this time frame can get shorter. But the problem is you will never not suck in the beginning. You are going to suck no matter what. It's literally nobody is good at this when you just start. You're going to suck. So the more you practice, the more you learn and everything, you can get better. But if you can't muscle through that initial suck phase, it's just not for you. You know, you got to want it bad enough. And if all this stuff I'm saying is like demotivating, then maybe it's just not for you, and maybe you don't understand it, because no matter what skill you attempt, you're going to suck at it. There's always a learning curve, right? And if you can't get through the learning curve, which is extremely high on something like leather crafting with very little payout and reward, maybe it's not for you. And maybe that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Maybe you think, oh, I only have to suck for a year. I'm going to fucking get this year over with. Then that's good, you know? So I really don't know how to feel about these messages. I get them all the time. And yeah, I really don't know. You guys tell me how I should feel in my comments, because I genuinely have like 8 emotions that go on when I read messages like this. Like literally, I don't know. You know, that emotional processing part of my brain on account of my autism, my little touch of the tism is like fucking doesn't work right. So you guys tell me if I handled this good. I didn't try and put this dude on blast. That's why I didn't like bring his name up and make him feel like bad in any way. But it's my genuine, like, this is the realest advice you would fucking get from anybody. Anybody else who just tells you like, oh, just fucking buy my pattern and I'll teach you everything you need to know is a fucking liar. Is a straight fucking liar, because they just want to get you dependent on their patterns. They just want to they want to get you dependent on their patterns so they can continue their wealth and leave you fucking with knowing barely enough to fucking always suck. So if you don't want to suck forever, you have to learn it on your own. Simple as that.